Welcome back, Bannock folks. You're tuned into another episode of Bannockdotes, podcast that holds it down for the underground sound here in Ontario, Canada. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit that bell notification so you get notified every time we post. Follow us on our social medias. That's just at Bannockdotes, BANDECDOTES. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. You can follow all the updates there. That's where we post mostly Instagram. TikTok's is a lot of just the clips. You know how it is. I'm going to skip the Ontario local shows because as we're nearing to the end of this year, there's less and less happening. But if there are shows happening, make sure you're following at Ontario X Hardcore on Instagram. That's where we post all sorts of flyers and stuff of shows happening in the area. Let's get into our episode today. Today I have Rick of the Holdouts. We had such a good conversation. I had them drive out in the middle of like a terrible snowstorm. It was the same time we shot the episode with Jill from Mall Crimes. And I was so thankful they came out. And we had a great time. We had, I've seen Rick around in the scene. They've played in other bands, and I learned more about it as we get into our conversation. And this was the first time we actually got a chance to touch base with each other and kind of learn a bit about each other. Because, it's funny, especially in the Niagara scene, there's a lot of faces and names that I know, and I'm sure they may even know myself. And, you admire a lot of their work, but when it comes down to actually, having a beer or something, hanging out, everybody doesn't really always have that time. So this was my first time that I got to sit down with Rick. And yeah, like I said, we had a blast. I'm going to quit yapping. Let's just jump right into that episode. Welcome back, Bannock folks. You're tuned in to another episode of Bannockdotes podcast. Holds it down for the underground sound here in Ontario, Canada. My guest this week is Rick Iafrate. Did I get it?
Iafrate.
Iafrate?
Yeah, you can say it like that. A lot of people know it because there was a hockey player named Al Iafrate that was apparently a good player.
Yeah?
I'm not a sporto, so I don't know much stuff.
I was going to say, what team?
Everyone's always like the hockey player? I think he was on Boston at one point in time,
yeah.
But when maybe in the heyday.
Right on.
Yeah.
And of the Holdouts.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have been, your folks have been really hard at work, doing lots of cool things. You just released a brand new EP.
Yeah. We've been sitting on that one for on the tracks for like a year.
Oh, yeah?
I would say. We recorded them kind of in the same bulk session with the split that we released with Heavy Petter. So that was within the same recording session. Then we just kind of put 2 there and put 5 there. But yeah, we recorded with Marco.
Shout outs Marco.
I listened to his episode. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's just when you're like sick of the fucking songs. When you're done with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, people are like, oh, this is a really cool melody. I'm like, I'm so fucking sick of it. I don't even want to hear it anymore. That's not true for all the tunes, but certain ones really irk you after a while. Yeah. I don't know if you get like that with your own music, like I do. Yeah.
Well, it's you go through these motions where like, when you're writing it, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
And then you're like, no, it's shit.
And then you play it so many times and you're like, all right, it's ready for the studio. And it's already been drilled in your brain at that point. You get to the studio, then you get to go through the motions of recording it, doing the takes after another. Yep. Once that's done, then you got to go through the process of listening to it back, doing the mastering, the mixing, and all that. Then once that's done, you're like, all right, here's this new song that I've heard a billion times already.
Yeah, I feel bad for people like Marco.
Yeah.
He has to listen to it more than I do.
Yeah, that's right.
I listen to it to practice, but that's it.
So you folks just played a show in Toronto, was it?
Yeah, we played the Bovine. We had a couple. So I'll breach that subject. Our bass player we lost fairly recently, Derrek Gordon. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. What a lovely person, amazing guy that we miss super, super, super badly. But we had there was one show that was lined up. We were supposed to play with Gob.
Cool. Yeah, that's right.
And then we ended up dropping off the bill because it was like right then. We were like, and we were me and Jared were gonna show up and say something, but we ended up not. We were just not feeling it. So.
Right.
But then we had one other show that was obligated, so we're like, all right, let's work up to playing that show, either with me on guitar or a buddy on guitar. I tried for a while, but during this season, it's been really rough for me pains-wise. I have a chronic pain illness you know about, but I guess I'll say it for the podcast. But so it was just a little rough, and I was getting real stressed out just trying to get ready.
Right.
Because it's been a while since I've played and sang before, like I used to for my old band, but haven't. I love playing guitar, but it's been a bit.
Yeah.
So then we got our buddy Ryan Holdsy. He does his own music. He's on Spotify too. I think just under Holdsy. But he's playing guitar now, and he's great. So we played that show with Holdsy. It was awesome. Went over really well, and had a good time. It was close to Halloween, so everyone's there. I love playing the Bovine because people are just there.
Yeah.
People are just hanging out.
It's an interesting space.
They go.
There's so much shit on the wall.
Oh yeah.
You just look over and you're like, oh, there's a baby carriage. Okay, that's fine.
I wish like all of the artifacts of the Bovine were like dated.
Or had some sort of story, you know what I mean? Like you could just pick something off the wall, and then bartender's just like, "Oh yes, that golden boomerang that was once used by Prince when he came here after a show."
Prince.
Yeah.
I went to Niagara College for broadcasting and film actually.
Cool.
And didn't do anything with it. Surprise. But one teacher there. David Niven is his name. Shout out to David Niven. He said he used to go to the Bovine. And I was like, oh, that's sick. Cool. So like, it's one of those venues that's been around for fucking ever. So
yeah. Now, when did the Holdouts start?
Technically before me.
Oh, really?
So yeah. Derrek and Jer from the Holdouts. Jer used to play guitar. Now he's playing bass.
Cool.
They kind of wanted to play together, so they were jamming out for a while. I can't remember if Matt was their original drummer, but I think so. But they had a different singer. Okay. I think they went through 2 or 3 before grabbing me, and Derrek had suggested me because we went a little bit back just to being at shows and stuff. He had seen my previous bands and stuff, and so I started jamming with them, and it kind of just went from there, spiraled out. I find me and Jer write really well together, so things kind of went really smoothly.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
That's great. And what other bands did you used to play in?
My old main band was called Chainsaw Lobotomy.
Oh, fuck yeah. I didn't know you were in that band.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was psychobilly, I guess, but we were much outside the genre. I have like not like a joke, I guess, but something I say all the time is that like everything that I touch is always a little bit weird. So it's always going to be like a little bit outside, a little bit other. Which is good and bad at different times. So for Chainsaw, it was weird because like we didn't fit the bill for most of the psychobilly bands because they were more like we were faster than them, and we had an electric bass, no upright.
Okay.
So it was different, and we covered AFI. You know what I mean? It was like it was a different vibe than like the rockabilly guys going there.
With the hair.
So we just didn't fit in anywhere. But now I'm kind of like into that. That's like the thing that I like.
And is that where you found your voice? Because you have such a unique voice.
It took a while. In Chainsaw, if you were to listen to our old full length, I don't like the voice at all.
No,
I fucking hate it. But then we released like one song later called "Hair of the Dog." That was like a tester to see like, it was like one of those decisions where you're like, how much money should we spend on recording? Well, if you spend a decent amount, you can make it sound like this. Yeah. It was like a tester song for that. We were like, how good can we make a song sound? And that one I was like, I let it fly, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I should do this more often instead of focusing on that. And I couldn't really scream at the time. I wasn't too great at it. We had one song, it was called Too Dead to Skate, that was like a little screamy, but you could tell I just had nothing behind it. And then over the years of like listening to music, and I'm always singing in the car, like constantly.
It's good practice.
That's like the only place I practice, basically. But practicing to bands like the Bronx, Bad Brains is a big vocal influence to me, and then even like a lot of classic rock stuff. I really love Queen and Jimi Hendrix and a lot of stuff.
Super cool.
Totally off topic. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's funny that you bring up the Bronx because like I feel like that is a big is it a big inspiration for your vocal style?
For
like
sure.
Matt from
Yeah, we have I can tell we have different like, what do you call that? Not range, but it is range, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Doesn't matter. Registers. Yeah. We have different registers, but I can hit a lot of the same stuff that he hits. So kind of on different sides of it. I feel like I'm a bit of a higher register than he is.
Yeah.
So I get the dumb, like the hair metal screams that I put into like holdout stuff or whatever. I can do that silly stuff. I'm sure he can too. Fucking Mariachi El Bronx. You listen to that shit and you're like,
It's super cool.
godly voice. But yeah, big influence for sure.
Awesome. And now, is that an overall influence on the Holdouts, or is that just maybe like a personal take?
That's probably just like my influence on the holdouts. I find that each of the members is of the holdouts are completely different musically. Like we all kind of center around punk rock, but like that's so broad.
Yeah.
Like I grew up listening to old school hardcore, kind of like 80s hardcore, like really early hardcore. I really liked the Dead Kennedys, Bad Brains,
Yeah.
Black Flag, that kind of scene. And then I broke out from there and kind of found other things. I forget what I was trying to say. Sorry. This is going to be a disjointed interview for us fucking weed heads, ADHD weed heads. Yeah, so like Jer likes like skate punk. He's
Cool.
way into like 90s skate punk, so that's where a lot of his guitar sound comes from. He writes all the guitar for that band. So it's like heavy on that. A lot of people say we have like a pop punk sound, but like my vocals changes that. So
Sure.
it's a little, I don't know what to call it sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's melodic. But then I think even just me, putting some gnar on things, or me, subtly influencing Jer, he's writing some heavy riffs sometimes. So like I'm like, oh shit,
Cool.
here it comes out. He's really branching out, and he's always playing guitar in his office, so he's just ripping out little riffs
Super
here
cool.
and there.
Now, what is some of the first like inspiration that you remember growing up to? Like, what really got you into that punk scene growing up? Would have been Bad Brains and Black Flag?
Seeing, honestly, I used to just like surf the internet.
Yeah.
Huge like digital fucking kid.
Yeah.
I was just always either in video games or on the net. So, I would find YouTube videos of like old performances. So like they have the old like CBGB Bad Brains performances and stuff like that of them like fucking losing their shit. HR doing backflips and fucking Jello Biafra making weird faces at everybody and like, throwing shit, and like it's fucking sick. So that whole scene, like seeing the video of it was a really big part of it for me of like this is fucking dope as hell. Because if I had just heard the music, I probably would have been like whatever at the time.
Sure.
But seeing it, I think, is a really big part of it.
And I'm sure taking that. Do you take that into account for your live show?
Yeah. I like to like call myself like a show person. I would say I've definitely, I always call like every time we're writing and I throw some like douchey cock rocky hair metal bullshit. I'm like, yeah, there's my dumb influence all over this shit. So I'm always joking about that. But yeah, I like trying to give a show if I can. If I can move, depending on the day, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Did you want to get into that? So you have a bit of a health issue.
Yeah. So for my whole life, I've been like super stretchy or hypermobile, they say. So like my fingers will bend back and I can like kind of bend every joint. They say double jointed. That was like an old term.
Yep.
But so that's great. Cool party trick until until certain things like fall out of place. Like my ribs basically will constantly pop out of place because there's little joints that connect them to your spine, and so they just kind of give way a little bit and pop out backwards or to the right. And I have to either pop them in myself by stretching around and contorting myself, or get to the chiropractor. But obviously, you can't afford to do that 24/7. So
course.
I wish I had an on-staff chiro that I could just be like, "Hey, what's up?" But yeah. So eventually, I had an old doctor that I super didn't enjoy, and he wasn't very helpful at all. He basically told me to get a better chair, and I was like, "All right." He's like, "Ergonomics, that'll fix it." So I got a really expensive chair. That whatever. I mean, I still have it, so great. I have a chair.
There you go.
But
It's lasted this long.
Out of it.
Yeah.
But that didn't solve my problems. And then I went a while without a doctor because he had retired, and then was at the Welland Walk-In for a while, and they weren't doing anything for me on that front because they have to do so much like imaging and stuff like that.
Right.
Eventually got a new doctor, super forward-thinking younger guy. Who's like, I think you have this immediately, and is just like listens to my like symptoms and me like rattling off like the different injuries I've had, popping out my jaw, my knee, like just everything. And he's like, it sounds like you have every symptom under the sun, kind of thing, of this disease called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's spelled weird. It's EHLERSDANLOS. And it's a hypermobility syndrome. It affects your collagen, so it makes your collagen kind of super ratty, and your collagen's kind of throughout your whole body.
Okay.
So like your your ligaments, I guess, or the space between your joints, that kind of stuff, your muscles, everything holding together. My one friend actually has it as well, but there's different symptoms for different people.
Right.
And she actually goes blind periodically.
Oh my God.
Your eyeballs are like 80% collagen, so every once in a while the tissue would just like shift, and then all of a sudden she'd be blind, so she can't drive anymore.
Oh,
and
wow.
that kind of stuff. So, and there's even worse versions of it. I have such a mild version of it. I feel bad even talking about it or complaining about it.
Sure.
But like, because there's versions of it that are absolutely fatal.
Okay.
Where it's like your veins don't hold together.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
You gotta keep the blood.
You gotta need that. Yeah.
So I don't have that. So thankfully, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of problems. Just basically, it feels like you've run a marathon 24/7. It feels like you're always exhausted. You're always drained. Always lots of muscle pain, joint pain, and even some nerve pain if a rib pops out, and then it's like pressing on a nerve that kind of goes down your arm.
Oh, that sounds painful.
So, anyways, I'm not gonna go on about it forever. It's not great. But and then you look at me and I can still shovel a driveway like today.
Right.
So it's hard because it's like an invisible illness where someone will look at me and say like, that person still has a lot of muscle on them. That person still has a lot of strength. They can still do these things.
Right.
But it took me like 4 hours, and I was like taking breaks.
Yeah.
It's
wow.
like, it's a nightmare. Getting ready in the morning is fucking terrible. It also gets worse at night. So there's like a nice grace period of like, I want to say 6 to 8 hours during the middle of the day. That's like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
But that's my everyday, man. So like, I feel like I'm pretty zen about it at this point, and I just try to do the things that I want to do. Putting music out is one of those things. So. And
it must affect playing music, recording, doing the live stuff, being the show person that you are.
Yeah, I think I was telling you a story about fucking Marco when we were recording the first EP we did with him for reasons unknown. I had a rib fully out of place, and like I had just started going to this physiotherapy place. I had a disc that was touching my spine, like my spinal cord, just a little bit, not enough to do damage. So they weren't super concerned. But the rib fully out of place, trying to bust those vocals out was not a great time. So I was basically just like huffing weed like constantly on Marco's floor. I brought a pillow. For people who've been in that studio, it's not like a big studio or anything like that. So it's
the size of this room.
Yeah, exactly. So, did what I could. He was very accommodating. So shout outs to Marco for putting up with that.
We love Marco.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
what a great guy.
Marco is great to record with. We just finished recording with him, and the experience, everything about Marco. We love Marco.
Just great. The hair, we love it. Yeah. So that was a little rough. And then for guitar, because I recently got back into guitar, there was a long, I would say a stint of like 6-7 years where I didn't even fucking touch a guitar. I just left them in the case. I was like, I don't even want to see them. I didn't have a band for the longest time, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
Post Chainsaw, everyone kind of moving away and doing their own thing. We went through a couple different phases with different members. We had some members of the hardcore scene in for a while. We got pretty heavy towards the end. It was really funny. Luke Phelps, Mike Augustine.
Yeah.
They were in Chainsaw towards the end. It was pretty awesome. We used to jam at that space in Welland by the bridge there at the
wrong place.
Wrong place.
Yeah,
we were on the top floor. It was just super
cool.
Fun. Yeah. Fuck. I'm gonna keep derailing myself. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Guitar playing. Yeah. So I recently got back into guitar because I got way hardcore into thrash, and I've been listening to it pretty much nonstop. Thrash, crossover, power violence, like the heaviest of the heavy, like the fast of the fast. As long as it feels rock and roll,
right.
I find that like that side of things. I'm real picky with thrash.
Sure.
If it sounds like, I don't know. There's like thrash that's like either super depressing sounding or just pure anger with no fun behind it.
Yeah.
I like to call it fun, but like I feel like that's just the rock and roll bluesiness of it. Like if you listen to Kill 'Em All, you're like, oh hell yeah, this is rock and roll. Like you know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not quite like pure thrash.
No.
Anyways, so got like ridiculously into that, and I've always been into Metallica because my dad used to listen to it in the car. Like he wasn't even a thrash head, but he really liked Metallica because they were on the radio. I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everyone liked them. That fucking S&M record, that live orchestra record,
yeah.
that's like burned into my brain.
Yeah, they made a second one. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
yeah, there's an S&M too that just put out, doing all the songs that they didn't do on the first one.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I love listening to the orchestra on some of the tracks from like Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
And shit like that. It was unreal. But picked up my old guitar and then started practicing again. It took a fucking while. You know when you take the big long breather from playing an instrument and then you're like, oh wow, I can't even fucking alternate pick anymore. I can't do anything. Just feel useless. And you start getting back at it and you're like, okay, it's a little bit like riding a bike, but you got to get over that hump of like, the ego smash of like, you're not as good as you were,
Right, yeah.
so you better fucking train up and you better put the time in. So me just watching YouTube videos and trying to get better. So I started another band with Jer, actually. Well, I started with my friend Eric Houston, who used to be in this band called Butch Holler. I don't know if you remember them.
No.
It was Hooch from the Matadors. He was
Okay. Yeah.
he used to put on like an old man face and do rockabilly covers of like modern pop songs like Lady Gaga and shit like
Cool.
that. Anyways, Eric played guitar in that band, and I've known him for a long time. But he was living in the area, and I was like, why aren't we jamming? Let's do this. And we had gotten into kind of the same really, really harsh style of punk at the same time. So me, him, and my buddy Riley Simpson. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Who in Single Mothers
Yeah.
at the moment, or he's kind of playing around wherever he can.
Sideman, I think.
Sideman.
I've seen him play.
Big School.
Wild Side. Yeah.
Big School.
Yeah, Big School.
But Candy Carvers, he's in every band.
Yeah.
So he's drumming in that band, and then we got Jer from Holdouts to play bass because he's like a bass player in trade, and it's like thrashy, hardcore, power violence-y stuff that we've been kind of keeping on lockdown for now. So
Which do you guys have a name?
we do. We don't. I don't want to talk about it too much.
Sure.
I want to.
We'll leave it
I
for
want to
another
launch
episode.
that later. But yeah, we called it Commit.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's real fun. It's fun. Like it's that. Like I was saying, it's like that hair of the dog for Chainsaw Lobotomy. Was that like the now you can just let yourself fly on like this. You're outside of that genre, so now you can do this.
Right.
For Holdouts, I find that whenever I'm doing something for a long period of time, I always itch for what's not there.
Sure.
So like if I'm playing Holdouts and I'm doing the rock and roll thing or like the kind of waily screams and maybe a little bit of the Bronxy stuff, but I really want to do the heavy stuff, or I really want to be playing guitar, or I really want to have this feeling, I always have to have a little bit something else. I'll either work it into the band that I'm in like a song, and
Right.
we'll have like a song that would be thrash.
Yeah.
But then that might be weird for that band.
Sure.
Or I'll start a new band. Anyways, just talking.
Have you ever had like an injury on stage, like mid-set?
I feel like plenty, but like nothing that
Nothing
I can like write
substantial.
home about. Yeah. Like I'm always popping a rib into place. So if you see me like rotate my shoulder, that's what's happening. If you see me move my neck, there's joints that are popping. It's happening as you see me. That's what I'm doing. It's just going to be constant, right? But that's not. I wouldn't consider that an injury. That's just me putting something back into place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing too terrible on stage, thankfully.
Thankfully.
I've come close to throwing up a bunch. I suppose overheating is my biggest problem.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, don't wear a hat when you sing. That's the worst. You don't have to drink a ton of water. You only need to fucking splash in your vocal cords. I'm trying to think of these little tips that I've picked up in the last couple of years that I should have known for the last 30
I
years.
stay away from beer.
Me too. Carbonation fucks with me.
Yeah.
Man, like anything that fucks with your stomach. I probably wouldn't even eat a huge meal before or anything like that, although I have, but it's not great.
Yeah, I typically wait until after the set, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, overheating is the worst. When you get just so hot that you start to throw up. That's it.
That's just it, yeah.
It gets to that point, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. And then you cool off and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm not like nauseous. This is like heat stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, beyond that, I don't know. Little shocks from the microphone from getting electrocuted.
Yeah,
from
that's
things
right.
not being grounded properly.
Yeah.
And little thing, I'll fucking smash into the drums. I'm the clumsiest person in the world. And I even like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Actually, I'll fix a little bit of what I said about that. But so I don't have like full EDS. Obviously, I have a type of it. I just wanted to fix that.
Right.
Anyways, but a symptom of that is that you're wobbly. So like I'll be like, I don't know. My doctor asked me, he's like, does anyone ask you if you're like drunk? And I'm like, no, but I don't know if they're thinking it. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? People might just be too polite to be like, Rick's fucking walking weird. Or like just stumbling all over the place. I promise I'm not wasted. I am just a little off kilter.
There was one time I played, I think it was in London with like a pop punk band, and my guitar's pedals was just like right there, and I did like a posy kick, and I literally like unplugged the whole pedal board, like everything, like you had to like awkwardly plug it back in. So I'm just as clumsy on stage. Like it happens almost every time I play a show.
I watch people do. I find out like I constantly feel like a bull in a china shop no matter where I go, whether I be on stage or like in a small store or something like that. I feel like I'm just gonna break everything when I turn. And when I see people on stage when they do like the crazy like jump kicks and like they land perfectly where they want to be, and I'm like, you got a lot of confidence in the stage that you must have really like fucking scoped out where you can go. And I don't know, I'm thinking about things like that. I was like, how can I do shit like that without totally falling over and knocking everything down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the latest EP. What's the name? It's a number, right?
325.
325. Where's that number come from?
From Jam Space that we shared. So basically an address. But
sick! I love that.
Yeah. I was like, "Are you sure you want to dox your old Jam Space?" No one look it up. Anyways, yeah, it's a space that really meant something to Jer in particular, Derrek in particular. I'm sure Matt too, and even me. Like I started jamming in that space. It's with them, so it's just a place that brought them all together. A place that's always been there for them. A place where that kind of group of their buds always hung out. I say them because I only joined them obviously within the last couple of years.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, so it really meant something to them. It means something to me as well, but like I just want to emphasize that it obviously means something more to them.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Is there any major influences that come to mind when you do Holdouts, or is it just like you guys plug in and play, kind of figure out what's going on in the room, or
like for how we write?
Yeah.
Jer writes all the guitar, so he's just fucking writing all those riffs. And then he'll send me something. He'd be like, I think I wrote a song. I'd be like, okay. And I'll listen to that song. And normally I'm pretty good with hearing the melody that I want within the first couple of times I listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I can justifiably put a cool, in my opinion, melody over it, I'll be like, hell yeah, let's do this. And I'll just write the lyrics and we'll bust it out. So with me and Jer, it's like quick. It's just like he writes a song, I finish it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then it's done. The drums and bass are like super easy to kind of put over top for Holdouts. It's fairly like, I don't want to say chill on the drums, but like more chill than other types of hardcore, I guess. You know what I mean? It's more rock and roll drums than, I don't know how to say that. But, so it doesn't need to be thought out as much or like planned, I guess. Like with my other band, I have to think I'm like such a rhythm nut that I'm like, I want like a stop here and then I want to like move to this and then have this little gap or whatever. And Holdouts isn't that band. It's not, it's not that.
It's not technical like that.
Yeah. You know, not the arranging of it. The arranging is very like straightforward.
All right, so tell me some of the wildest stories you have from playing in a band. Doesn't necessarily have to be with the Holdouts. Just like any sort of inside joke, any sort of funny story.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the one that first comes to mind because of the snowstorm is that driving with my old band Chainsaw Lobotomy played a show with Black Hat Attack and Cross Dog in Peterborough at the Spill. I don't know if the venue is still around, but it was a really awesome venue.
You're the second person to tell me that shows are happening in Peterborough. I have no clue that
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's bands in Peterborough. There's great bands in Peterborough. So we played the Spill. It was a snowstorm. Almost no one came out, but some people did. I was appreciative. It's fucking awesome that they even fucking weathered the storm.
Yeah.
And then we didn't want to drive back, like at least all the way back. So Dave Brownstown from Sum 41 who plays in Black Hat Attack sometimes, most of the time, I think. He was like, "Oh, just come to my place," because it was kind of in between that and where we were going, I guess. So he was like, just follow me. And we followed him through this gigantic snowstorm that I would say rivals today. Super, super hard to see. Couldn't see the edges of the road kind of thing. Like no light anywhere. But we got there, and Dave was a gracious host and has a lovely place there.
Nice.
It's not much of a story. What a crazy story. You had a hard drive in the snow. I feel like I don't have a lot of crazy stories. I feel like I've avoided a lot of the terrible things that was always afraid of with bands, like getting your fucking car broken into.
Sure.
Don't do it now, please.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm saying it, everyone's gonna be like, okay, this is
come
the test.
out to the interview and
gotta
there's
break
gonna be
into
a
that
guy.
car. Yeah. No, I never had even when I got the truck that I have or whatever, I was like debating on whether I wanted a cube van for like band stuff.
Yeah.
But then the thought actually entered my mind of like, I don't want to be a target of like,
true.
If I'm a cube van with a bunch of stickers, it's like glaring like there's speakers in this car.
Yeah.
There's a guitar in here.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Bands, be more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even be more sly about it.
Breezy got his van. He didn't want any band stickers on it. He's
nothing.
Like, no, I don't want to make this.
Or like a boring soccer mom that has nothing in this fucking car except for like old Cheetos or something.
Put those like the family sticker on the back there.
Yeah.
There's the whole family ass in there. Fuck.
Don't break into this fucking car. No. I don't know. I'm literally trying to think. I have like nothing but fond memories. I feel like band stuff has been like the home away from home for me, like the surrogate family in a lot of ways. regardless of like you only see these people every once in a while kind
I
of
know,
thing. But
yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like that inside group of people that have hung out, have stuck through, that are probably going to do this until they die, regardless of whether they become popular or not.
Right.
So
And you spend so much time with them.
yeah. So I'm just saying that I haven't had a super crazy hard time. I'm not into any super crazy drugs. I'm really only into weed and mushrooms. So there's no like.
There you go. The good
I
stuff.
did a bunch of blow and fucking did a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Nothing wild. Mostly self-inflicted wounds and breaking gear, but not in a cool way.
Right.
Like when something breaks and you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where's the furthest you folks have played? Like, furthest from home?
Me personally, I've played Montreal a few times. That was a good time.
Montreal's always a good time.
Yeah. I think that's probably the farthest. I've definitely, we're mostly in province, you know what I mean?
Right.
We played the States. We played Buffalo.
Nice.
Um,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I fucking love Buffalo.
Shot over there for, there's a little bar there called the Walmore Inn.
Really?
It's a super cute little place.
Nice. You just sneak over, or?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the whole. Well, we just used other people's gear, kind of
Perfect.
thing. You know,
You just say
when you
you're
can just
going
go into
over
a show, going to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always dicey. I feel bad, but at the same time, I don't, because
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. It's not like we're getting paid. It's like the whole reason for that is like they want to be able to tax your dollars, as though if I was going to record in Buffalo, fine.
Sure.
Fine. You want some of the money from that recording. I understand there's a business. You want that business to go towards your country. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm playing the Walmart Inn for $50. Shut the fuck up
Yeah,
and let
yeah.
me play your fucking country.
Let me just come in and fucking do this. Trust me, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Come out.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Border.
swear, if these border patrol officers would just come out to shows, they would realize how much of a good time it is,
Just a
and
fun
how
time.
much you're stopping all the fun from happening.
Stopping wholesome creativity and kids learning about music. It's just despicable. Border should be ashamed.
Now, do you have any go-to gas station snacks?
Yeah, totally. I think I heard you talking about an en route on one of your podcasts.
Yeah,
and
en route comes
I've
up quite a bit.
definitely hit a few of those, of course. But there, I always get the yogurt parfait if I can get
Yogurt
that.
parfait.
Yogurt parfait is great because it's like doesn't make you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
It's got the fruit in it.
It's really hard to get food on the road that doesn't make you feel like shit. I'm also a vegetarian, so there's I gotta kind of avoid certain things or whatever. Not every not every fast food place has a veggie burger, although they're getting better.
They're getting better.
Yeah. I think who doesn't still? Does Wendy's still not?
I don't think McDonald's does.
When McDonald's did a long time ago, before I was even a vegetarian.
Like a long time
Yeah.
ago. But not anymore, no?
No.
No.
So I don't know. We would hit up Burger King for
Burger
a veggie
King.
burger. That was their old dirty veggie burger was my mainstay for on the road
Yeah,
meal.
yeah. It had the veggies pressed in it. Yeah.
And it was dry, so it wasn't like a greasy burger, so it was
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is great. In terms of I used to work at I worked at a gas station for 4 years, so I'm thinking of all the snacks. I recently got off of energy drinks, but I was an absolute fiend for them for
Damn.
the longest time.
Was there a go-to? Was it just Red Bull?
I tried to stay as healthy as I could possibly be, so I went with Rain,
Sure.
not Red Rain, the ones with the night face on it, because they don't have taurine in them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was avoiding that because
Nice.
my chiropractor told me to avoid that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But I figured I should just stop altogether. So now I drink tea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tea.
Veggie burgers, and yogurt parfait.
Nice. Those are the go-tos, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Now, do you have any pre-show rituals? Anything you do before you go on stage?
Pee 6,000 times.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a nervous wreck all the time. So, yeah, I'll go to the washroom a million times. I'll probably, when you're talking pre-show, you're before you even get to the show kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like me getting ready in the morning at this point is me trying to make sure I can move.
Yeah.
So my pre-show ritual is me stretching 6 ways to Sunday, all of my physiotherapy stretches, and trying to get to a point where I feel good. Definitely take a hot shower, loosen up a little bit, probably put some Lakota or something on my back and loosen that shit up. But yeah, aside from that, just make sure that I don't drink any fucking carbonated beverages like we were talking about.
Yeah,
That's a big one for me. Try to practice a little bit of singing. I always try to practice classic rock before a show.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of it's not so screamy, but you can still belt it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned I love Queen. I'll sing a lot of Queen songs to try to just limber it up and really try to get there.
Yep.
And then you can always add the rasp on it later. So I just figure if you're hitting the note, you're hitting the note.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that would be a pre-show. That's about it. I'm there for a good time. I'm normally there fucking early and ready to just hang out and help everybody. So.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. So let's put a hypothetical time.
Mhm.
You Holdouts are as big as Metallica. You guys are selling out arenas. What is the rockstar dream rider? What is waiting there in the green room for you? A chiropractor, obviously.
Yeah, on-site physiotherapy team. Yeah, I would just keep them with me. Chiropractor, acupuncture, massage for sure. That'd be great. Just have all those laid out. Maybe a little sauna, some hot towels.
There you go.
Some
Yeah,
hot towels would be great.
It's just a spa.
Yeah, basically. I want like a little spa and video games for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
particular ones?
I mean, all of them, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I would probably bring them with me on the road. So I got that. But
True.
like, if you could get me something that I don't have, like
Mhm.
if you could get me like some old school ass arcade cabinet, then I would definitely play
That's
the shit
super
out of
cool.
that.
You're
for a
up
while.
on like current games, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah,
I used to work at game stores too, but I'm
cool.
a little out of the news. But on socials, it's still within my sphere. I still
Yeah.
see all the stuff.
I used to work at a game store warehouse.
Yeah.
Like so I used to see all the DVDs and games all the time. This was like 10 years ago though. So
Mhm.
like, yeah. Is there any games that you've been playing currently that you think that any gems that someone needs to know about?
recently. Everyone knows about it, I'm sure, that's into the indie scene, but maybe if you're not, there's a game called Inscription that's pretty cool. A lot
Cool.
of my friends are playing that. It's kind of a card game, but it's also like an escape the room, and it's got a really cool like creepy style.
Nice.
That's a big part of it. Like when I explain a card game, like me personally, I fucking hate most card game video games.
Yeah,
Can't play them. Can't hold my attention.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Inscription can hold my attention, so that's a
Cool.
selling point of that one. Little indie game. What the fuck else have I been playing? I've been playing Dying Light 2 because that DLC just came out. So I like just smashing zombies. I find it very
Nice.
like stress relieving. Like, just I'm gonna go fuck up zombies for like 2
That's
hours.
like the one with like the motorcycle game, right?
No.
No.
Fuck. A motorcycle with zombies. That was maybe Days Gone.
That's what I'm thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah. That I played a little bit of that. That was cool, but Dying Light's first person. It's like a parkour game, so you're like climbing up walls and shit
Oh,
and running on
cool.
everything. But then there's also zombies everywhere.
There you go.
It's fun. That's really it. I want to say on Switch, I've been playing through all the Resident Evils again,
Oh, fun.
and because they got the Resident Evil 4 remake coming out next year, I think. I've been going through Resident Evil 4 again on
Mhm.
Switch just for fun.
So we got all of those games going on in the green room.
All of them, and especially the classics. I want the Super Nintendo for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any specific furniture you got going on? Any food you got going on in that green room?
Yeah, maybe a really, really comfortable deep chair. That'd be great.
There
or
you
like
go.
Some sort of really, really great table for me to lay on. That'd be wonderful. What was the second thing you said? Sorry.
I said food.
Food. I'm a big fan of like veggie sushi and stuff like that. I'll go to town on like some yam rolls.
There
That'd
you
be
go.
great. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's post the show that I'd be eating that food, so I don't give a shit what it is. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I like a lot of Asian food, so I would say something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I've only got one more question here for you. I
Mhm.
got to get you to give me 5 records that you think everybody needs to hear.
Fuck. That's tough. Damn. Of any genre?
Of any genre.
Anything at all? I'm so broad, so this is very hard. I'm going to try to give you like a scattershot shotgun blast of
Perfect.
like my my interest. We'll put a Bronx record in there. I'm trying to think of which one.
They're so hard.
Me personally, I'm a total loser for Bronx 3.
3.
Yeah.
I would have said 3 too, yeah.
Ships High in Transit, one of my favorite songs. Fuck. Okay, that's good for that. Kill 'Em All. Absolutely.
good,
100%. Best Metallica record, hands down. I listen to it all the time. It's great.
Pause.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about Saint Anger?
When it came out, I bought it.
Yeah, okay.
So like that's
you
the
got
thing.
duped.
I was like, maybe it'll be cool. There were a couple songs I remember that I was like, this is like passable for me to want to listen to, but it wasn't at all what I wanted.
No.
But neither was the last 3 Metallica records.
Sure.
So you know what I mean? Like, I was like, what am I looking for?
Yeah.
If I wanted like Kill 'Em All to Injustice,
Yeah.
I would just listen to them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or other bands that kind of sound like that. I guess along those lines, I really like Municipal Waste. So Fatal Feast, I actually really like that record.
Nice.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
One of the coolest
Municipal
intros.
Waste is a really cool band.
What is that? 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta balance this out. Sheer Heart Attack by Queen.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And it's very tough. What else? Maybe Eye Against Eye, Bad Brains.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Nice. Solid 5 records.
There you go. It's a weird little mix, but
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Shotgun
if you
blast.
Look at me, I guess.
Right on. So before I roll out all the social medias, is there any more anecdotes or anything you want to share? Any funny stories? Any inside jokes that you folks have?
What are the jokes? We got no jokes.
No jokes.
The jokes are, I feel like we're a very self-aware band, so I try to play into the fact that I know what I look like, I know what I act like. It's funny for me too. So, if I feel like we're that kind of jokey kind of band where we don't take it too seriously. We take it seriously enough where the music is serious. You know what I mean?
Right, but you're having fun with it.
That's it. I'm here to have fun. I don't care if I play first on the bill or last on the bill. I don't care about any of the fucking details. You can use my guitar. Everything's cool. We're like a very chill band. So
yeah,
I
that's
feel like
super laid back.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Easiest going with sound guys too. I love sound guys.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, can you turn it up? Sick.
Yeah,
I can hear myself.
Perfect.
You got it. I trust you.
All right, so let's roll out the social media handles. That's Instagram, Bandcamp.
I think the Holdouts has a space in it. Does it not? Is it Holdout space 905? I don't even fucking know when I look at my phone. _Holdouts_905. Yeah, that's the Instagram. Sorry.
Perfect. And then do you guys know the Bandcamp off the top of your?
I'll find it right now. Not off the top of my brain. I should just click that link tree. That's okay. I actually think our Bandcamp is down at the moment.
Oh no.
Because weirdly to say this, it was attached to Derrek.
Oh.
So we had to take it down and we have to put it back up.
Interesting.
So give us a little sec on the Bandcamp.
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Check back on I'll share it on the Facebook and whatever.
Shout outs Curse Blessing, right?
Curse Blessings Records.
Tarantula Tapes
as well. Yeah, we did a split with Heavy Petter as well.
Yeah.
From Tarantula. They're fucking sick as hell. Shout outs to Marco Deadquarters for recording us. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Is there anything else you have left to plug?
No. Plug this podcast. Listen to Phil's podcast. Give it a share. Give it a like. Throw it around everywhere. Because, I don't know. There's not a lot of podcasts like this, I feel like. I'm sure you felt the void when you were making it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, that's awesome.
I'm a guy who likes podcasts, and I like talking to people, so I thought I'd mesh the two.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you so much.